Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in today's video we are going to take a close look at the brick game from Wonky Toys. I already did quite some reviews of brick games here on the channel and I was a little bit surprised seeing this thing in my local stores over here. So they are reintroducing the brick game to the new gamers. It's very funny that they're doing this, and again I was surprised. Yes. To begin with, I bought it for around €4.50, so that's not a lot of money in my opinion. Yes, if you buy them from AliExpress, yep, they will be a little bit cheaper, but the price is not big of a deal, to be honest, because I think you pay around €3-4 for a decent one on AliExpress, and there are some expensive brick games, by the way. Alright, so let's take a close look at it, because I am very curious how are the games, and it's very lightweight. Oh man, it weighs even... It doesn't smell chemical, but it weighs almost nothing compared with the older version from the 90s. Yeah, it feels quite cheap, and the buttons are all made of rubber. And what you can see, we're having two buttons for rotates, like starts. We're having the D-pad that is fully made of rubber. That is not a good thing. And even when I'm touching the D-pad, you can see the buttons over here moving. So that is not a good thing. Alright, so let's try some batteries in this machine and test it out if it's working. So we need two AA batteries. I wanted to say triple, but we need AA batteries. What the hell is going on with this thing? Wow. It's flexible plastic. That's one thing. Okay, no, I'm getting the wrong batteries again. Okay, so let's grab ourselves two batteries. It's a low power device, so it doesn't even matter what kind of batteries I'm using. I'm just going to use the Panasonic. Very nice brand. And again, for a device like this, it's just fine, because the batteries are for low powered devices. Alright, let's close it up. Shall we use the screw? Nah. Okay, yep. Okay, let's put it back in, otherwise I will lose it. But nevertheless, I already can see that the games are similar, like the first, let's say, brick handheld I have reviewed back in the day. And the menu is just similar like the previous models. So what you can do over here is selecting difficulty, select what kind of game you want to play. So there are, they say 20 games on it, but as you can see it doesn't move up. I'm going to the number 10 game, then it will move to something different. Nevertheless, I think we're having a couple of games like Tetris, racing game. We're having this alleyway clone, that's pretty fun. But let's see, 7, 8, yeah, from the 8 on we're going to get some different games. So basically there are around, let's say, 3 different games on it with more like different variations of it. Alright, so let's try the Tetris game, and this is just our typical Tetris game. I must say, even for this horrible D-pad, it's still playable. Yep, and I must say it's very responsive. I don't press the buttons very hard. They are super sensitive in that point. But it works, and we can enjoy some Tetris old school, people. Next game is the racing game, and when you're pressing the button it basically is more like in turbo mode. Gives, I think, more like a challenge for yourself. I did notice with my previous brick game I had this little bleeping sound when I was passing through, and that I don't have this here, so there is some minor differences between the games on the brick games. Let's try the alleyway game, and again it's more like a turbo button. We can speed up the game. Okay, that's really convenient. Pretty cool, to be honest. And makes yourself a little bit more difficult this way. Or you can mess it up very easily, of course. Alright, so let's show you a Tetris game, but this is not the original Tetris. And okay, this is totally new. I've never played a game like this. That when you're pressing the rotation button, you're going to get a different block. So that is very unique, so you can just random pick a block. But the game is pretty fast from the start. So you can see that it's quite challenging this way. And indeed, it is a new way to play the Tetris game. Pretty cool, pretty awesome, and very challenging. Alright, so let's remove the batteries and let's rip and tear this little bad boy, because I just want to see inside how did they make this. There are quite some different versions out there with the brick games, and this thing, or better this shell, I've never seen before. So let's rip it there. Remove the 6 screws that is holding this little thing together. And the inside, there is not really much to see because there are basically 2 plastic shells, and I need to work it, remove the screws like it should be. This is where you're going to get people. There's basically nothing inside. Alright, so let's see. We're having here at the left the little speaker, and at the right we're having a main board, and that's it. The main board is even the one that is for the controls. So as you can see, the wires go here, very thin wires. So there's basically nothing inside. Let's remove this little main board and let's see what's beneath it. Alright, so the main board, and it's basically an all-in-one. So it has the input for the controls, it has the input for the display. Here you can see all the cables goes in here. So this is for the audio out and the input for the power. The input for the buttons. Here we have the little black bulb, and this contains all the necessary files for the games. And that's it. What I think is very unique is the way how they using this input for the controls and the way how they're using the display connection. I have never seen this before. As you can see here, we having the gold that is on the PCB that makes the contact with the display that way. Alright, so the PCB has been made in 2018, as you can see over here, so that's not from this year that I'm making this review. Alright, so let's go to the final conclusion. Let's put this thing back together and let's talk about what I think of it. Okay, so brick games are always fun to look at, but it's a little bit of a shame that we're always having the freaking same games. There is not a little more like a variation. Yeah, the button itself, it's pretty damn horrible. The Wonky toy, €4.50 handheld. It's fun that they bring these old school games back. I think it's for more like memory lane for the people and collectible value. But nevertheless, this is what you're going to get. And yeah, let me know, do you have a brick game in your collection? And consider subscribing. I have more of these weird stuff, handhelds coming up. And we'll see you in the next video.